Hey, it's Jesse with Fisco Real Estate. Wanted to talk to you today about earnest money, what that is and the importance of earnest money. A lot of times buyers are putting forth earnest money and they don't understand why they have to make this deposit. So we're going to go into a deep dive as to why it's important on both sides of the transaction, whether you're a buyer or a seller, to have decent earnest money and to understand what's going on. Let's jump right in. Thank you so much for watching. It's Jesse with Fisco Real Estate. As always, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell for more awesome content and notifications of when it's coming. We love working with buyers and sellers here in Utah, as well as other states throughout the United States. There are some things to understand with each transaction, and every state has some different rules and guidelines, but there are some things that are universal, and earnest money is one of them. So I want to talk to you about the importance of earnest money and what it is. So we're going to jump right in. So your earnest money essentially is a pledge. If you're buying the home, you're pledging to the seller that you will not cancel on the transaction outside of your deadlines. If you cancel outside of your deadlines, that earnest money goes to pay for damages. Now, as you as a buyer, you would rather have a small amount of damages than to be sued for a larger amount. So earnest money is a way to protect you from being sued further if the seller accepts those damages. Now on the flip side, if you're the seller, it helps you know the amount of damages that will be compensated to you if your buyer does not perform. So let's talk about a few things. Your earnest money here in the state of Utah, it could be anything from $1 to the price of the home. You could do more, I don't understand why you would. That earnest money goes into a trust account that is designated by your broker, and that money sits there until the transaction is completed. Once the transaction is completed, the earnest money then goes to your down payment or any other loan costs, or if you would like, that earnest money can be refunded to you at closing, assuming all your other costs are met. Now that earnest money plays two parts. For buyers, it protects you from being sued further to perform on purchasing a home. Now for sellers, it helps kind of secure the buyer's intent to purchase the home. Now something that a lot of people don't understand from earnest money is it also protects the buyers significantly. In some cases, the buyer, if the seller was to cancel, would have to pay up to 3 times the earnest money amount. So if you put $20,000 down earnest money on a contract and the seller canceled on you, you could be compensated up to 60 grand from the seller's pocket, plus still get your 20 back. So that's something to consider with earnest money, is that it is matched and sometimes can be matched up to 3 times depending on the state you reside in. Could be more in other states. So that earnest money plays 2 ways. So when someone asks me, how much earnest money should I put down? I look at it as an insurance policy. I would say as much as you feel comfortable to afford. Usually your down payment, if you already have it, so you don't have to bring more money to closing. And if you do that as a buyer, it helps you to know that if the seller were to cancel, you would be compensated for damages. It also shows great intent to purchase a home, which will help you get your house under contract as well. With a buyer, you're going to have deadlines, and each deadline is going to be state specific based off the laws and regulations in that state. Here in Utah, you have a due diligence period, which is essentially a period where you can do your inspection and you can cancel at any point for any reason. You don't even need to provide a reason in some cases, and that earnest money will be refunded or returned to you. You can also, in some cases, go up to the financing deadline in Utah, and if the financing deadline, if you do not like the terms of your loan, you can cancel based off the financing and that earnest money will be returned. Now, obviously, the shorter timelines, the better for the seller. So the seller's always looking for an opportunity to have shorter deadlines on the earnest money. Right now, where the market is a little bit insane, as far as buyers purchasing a home, we are seeing a lot of buyers do their earnest money non-refundable upon accepting the offer, which means that they can cancel, but that money goes to the seller regardless. That's a very aggressive offer. But we're also seeing situations where the buyer is saying, I'd at least like to do my inspection to know I'm not getting a terrible house. and so they are having their earnest money non-refundable after the inspection period. Now, every situation is going to be different and it's negotiated, but earnest money is super important. Once again, it benefits both the buyer and the seller if one of the other parties defaults. So I wanted to really hit that home and explain why earnest money is super important. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any more questions about earnest money, please feel free to give us a call. The number below, shoot me a text or drop a comment. Really appreciate you watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day.